In this video, I'll show you how to convert an array of numbers to an array of ordinal numbers for any given array of numbers. So for example, if I have the array of 1, 2, 3, I want to get an array of strings that reads first, second, and third. Okay, so how do we do this? As anything else, there are always a number of approaches. The first one is a lookup array. The second one is to convert the number to array, then check the last member, then check the last member. Another way is to use the built-in INTL internationalization object. So we have several ways to do this at our disposal. Let's start with the lookup array solution. We'll start with an array consisting of 3 members. So let's say const source array is 1, 2, 3. And then I can say const lookup array is first, second, third, and fourth. Okay, now we can run the array.prototype.map function on our array of numbers to return their ordinal counterparts. So I'm going to say source array.map is going to take a member and return the member plus lookup array of member. Okay, so if we do this, now we can also console log to see the result right here in VS Code instead of having to open it in the browser, because that's the Quokka extension that I'm using. However, this is not working exactly correctly. We're getting a one-off logical error, and it's also saying empty string, so it's not as perfect as you could expect. So maybe if we do to string, and then do this, so that could be the first one to do. And now we are getting the expected result, but also maybe we can avoid the one-off errors by doing the member -1. Okay, so now we are getting the first, second, and third. Otherwise, we would be getting first as 1ND, then second as 2RD, and third as 3TH. So obviously wrong. So now we're fixing this one-off error, and we're getting back the expected result. What we can conclude from the lookup array approach is that it will work great for smaller arrays of numbers. It's a quick and easy solution when we need to convert a short array of numbers to its ordinal counterpart. However, how do we deal with longer arrays of numbers? What do we do if our array's length is not larger? It's like maybe in the hundreds. For that, we can use the second solution. So the second solution is to convert the number into an array and then check the last member. So let's start from the core of this solution. Instead of working on an array of numbers, we'll work with a single number. So let's declare a new function. We'll name it add ordinal suffix, and it's going to take in a num parameter. And now we can just console log num plus th. Okay, so that's an easy enough start. And now we can say let user picked num. And here we're going to say prompt, and we're going to say type a number. So as in some previous videos, obviously we're going to have to, once we've done coding in VS Code, we're going to have to switch to the browser. And inside of the browser, we're going to have to run this code to test out the behavior. So let's actually try that right now. I'm going to copy this code, open a new incognito window, and paste it in right here. So let's say if I choose the number 40, let's say 35, we're going to get the output of, well, I'm missing something here, right? So let's say I also need to invoke the function of add ordinal suffix. So now I'm getting some behavior that I don't want because it's add ordinal suffix and it's going to take in the user picked num. All right, so now that should work. Let's zoom it in a little bit so it's easier to see. And now when I run this code, let's see what's going to happen when I type 35. We're going to get 35th. So this works fine. However, what happens if I type in, for example, 4321? Now I'm getting 4,321th. And that's obviously wrong because it should have been 4,321st. So let's take the number 4321 and convert it to an array, just for the practice sake. So let's say 4321 dot to string, then split with an empty string. Okay, and then I'm gonna get an invalid or unexpected token. Why are we getting this error? We're getting it because the single dot after the number stands for the decimal delimiter. Luckily, there are several fixes for this. One of those is to just add another dot right here, which should take care of this issue. And indeed it does. So now that we're successfully splitting our number into an array of characters, we can console log only the last member of the array, that is the last digit of our number. And we're going to do that as follows. So basically back in VS Code, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say let arr equals num dot to string dot split. And now I'm going to console log arr. So let's just fix this arr. I'm going to console log that. And the result is something like console.log num plus th, sort of. Okay, so now let's run this code with the addition of that function invocation as well. So let's just save it right here. Okay, and now that we have everything ready, we can go back, clear the console, and run this function. 4321. Okay, and indeed it's splitting the array. So now next that we want to do is console log only the last member of the array. And I'm going to do that as follows. Instead of console logging the entire array, I'm just going to console log the array length minus 1. So arr length minus 1. And that's going to give me the last number. Okay. Now that I have this, let me copy and paste it back into the Chrome editor Chrome browser, once again. And okay, so I made a typo. It's arr.length. So let's go back to the browser, run it again, and this time I'm getting the last digit of this number that I've picked as user. All right, so now all I need to do is map the suffix as this. If I get a 1, I'll return 1st. If I get a 2, I'll return 2nd. And if I get a 3, I'll return 3rd. So now I need to update my code. So back in VS Code, I'll do as follows. Right here, I have the array last member. So I'll add array last member. And I'll set it to this thing that I previously console logged. Okay, so next, I'll set the suffix to th. Okay. And now I'm going to ask a few questions. So I'm asking, is the array last member equal to 1? If that is the case, then I'm setting the suffix to st, as in first. Otherwise, and let me just copy paste this a few times. Okay, and one more. Okay, so if array last member is 2, then the suffix is nd, and if array last member is 3, the suffix is rd, as in third. And now I can finally console log the number plus suffix, and let's now try it out. So copying everything and going back to the browser, I can paste it in right here, and let's try 4321. And what I'm going to get is 4,321st. So this seems to be working, and our task is seemingly finished. But there is a weird edge case with teens. If we ran the above code and passed, for example, number 11 to the prompt, we'd get back 11st. And that is wrong. We should have returned 11th. The solution for this is to check the last two digits instead of 1. And then if the last two digits are 11, 12, or 13, we'll return a th suffix. And for all other cases, we'll return the appropriate st, nd, or rd. So here's the natural update to our code. So let's do it right now. Besides the array last member, I'm also going to define the array second last member. So second last member, and that's array length minus 2. And I'm still keeping the rest of the code the same with this suffix thing, but here I can add a console.log where I'll say type is, and now I'm going to check the type of array second member, array second last member, and I'm going to concat the array last member to it. And what I'm going to get here is returns type is, basically it's going to return type is string. So now that I have that, I'm also going to do console.log. The last two digits are, and here I'm going to add another thing to be console logged. So that second thing is array second last member concat array last member. Okay, and now I'm going to ask a few questions, or update my questions to be more precise. So I'm asking if array last member is 1 and array second last member dot concat array last member is not equal to 11, then the suffix is st. So similar to that, I'm also asking if array last member is 2 and array second last member concat is not equal to 12. And finally, for the third one, I'm going to ask a similar question, only for number 13. Okay, so now when I have all of this code, and maybe I can zoom out a little bit to make it fit the screen. So now I have all of this code. So I'm going to copy it, go back to the browser, paste it in, and run it. So let's say 111. I'm going to get back 111th. However, if I type in, let's say 4321, I'm going to get 4321st. So our code works fully and also takes care of edge cases.